y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. It is Tuesday. It is January 31st. It is the last day of January. How are you feeling about this? I actually am calling it January for the last couple of days. I figured like it was, it deserved it. It deserved it. You are watching Texas Fully Loaded with the amazing Texas Bacon Master Walter West and Jon Bouche. What's up, guys?
It's raining like hell here,
It's raining like hell?
Oh, it's raining here really bad. It's raining.
I always love that contradictory statement.
And
Walter,
right now I've got jokes bouncing around in my head that I can't tell on the air because I don't want to start the show off that way, but just know.
Walter was trying to flash us, so I don't know. Do what you want, I guess. It's Tuesday.
I gotta tell you, the intro video with the bad Photoshop of me and Lauren Boebert just had me bust out laughing.
Is that not the greatest?
Actually, you know what? I'm on my Nextdoor app in Magnolia, and that's the latest news. Is
it's official. It's official.
And apparently, y'all are going to run for school board also.
Surprise, surprise, Jon Bouche. How do you and Lauren feel about that?
Running for school board? What are you talking about? What are y'all doing to me now? I'm not running for anything ever again.
We just like to promote misinformation first, right out of the bat.
Oh, then you should join this women's Republican group this lady's in because she's excellent at that.
We're trying to market to them so that they come on and see the truth eventually.
We'll get to that later. The stupidity.
That'll be later.
I get so tired of every time one of these people open their mouth. I go, is this ignorance or malice? I mean, it's just.
It's a fine line.
Yeah, but the results
fine line with a lot of big behinds. It's a fine line.
Yeah.
You know what fixes that? Good moisturizer. You want to plump up those fine lines.
Well, speaking of good moisturizer, just in time for the spring thaw, we have. That's right, Sandra Whitten's essential oils. That's if you could put it on your face with the egg and rub it in, you will have a smooth complexion, just like
this
that.
This is my last Texas Fully Loaded show, effective immediately.
But wait, there's more.
I don't know what just happened here.
We have Jon Bouche running for Magnolia School Board with Lauren Boebert as the campaign manager.
I am not running for Magnolia School Board. Stop that.
You are Simon's protesting.
He's going to take Ginger Russell out. That's right.
Walter, I understand why they call you bacon now because you're 75% fat and quite salty today.
Infidelicious, baby. Infidelicious.
So, okay. Now, look, if you were going to get some crap plug for me and my essential oils, P.S., I do have a DTR page if anyone's interested.
Simon.
However, you should have talked about Jon's rejuvenating water, like rejuvenative youth water, because he's on the Lone Star Water Board, dork. Come on, at least.
Let Jon sprinkle in your mouth.
Et tu, Simon? Et tu?
Wait a second. I didn't say that part.
That's a wrap, folks.
I love that Simon just jumped right on in there.
Yeah.
I thought he was a friend, and he kneecapped me.
Simon finds that opening, and he takes it.
Tanya Harding me. Good job, Simon.
I thought he was a friend who thought he was a friend who.
That's terrible.
Thought it was Lauren Boebert coming to town. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
look,
hey guys,
don't pick on Jon.
So tell me what I had to leave before Kyle Rittenhouse spoke the other night. What all did he talk about?
Well, so he just kind of talked. We had microphone issues at first, but he actually talked about how he was being censured. One thing that wasn't discussed was the fact that the FBI withheld a lot of their evidence. Unfortunately, in his case, until it was accidentally found by his defense team. He and I don't know if people know this or not, but he was taken for millions upon millions of dollars and is currently being sued by everybody and their mother just because he's trying to lay low. And of course, he's being threatened because Kevin Hart, the actor, the comedian Kevin Hart, actually said that that Kyle Rittenhouse had killed a bunch of black people.
No, he didn't.
The power of misinformation.
Yeah, he literally said that, and that's why he had some folks of color try to attack him while he was at Texas A&M University.
Wow. This, again, stupid ignorance or malice. You know. And of course, the big case lately is what happened with the Memphis PD with the 5 black officers and the guy who killed. Yeah, I mean those white supremacists, just beat the guy to death. And the media is going out of the way to turn this into a racial issue. It's institutional racism. These white people.
Well, you know what? We talked about that yesterday on the show, and one of the things that I had referenced is that you go on YouTube so that you can get the raw footage and all that kind of stuff. That's apparently fine. P.S. Speaking of, we'll have a YouTube moment in a minute. So anyway, so we're on YouTube and we're watching the videos and whatever. Well, then you know how it'll just like pick up the next video in sequence, right? Well, the next video in sequence on one of them was this very philosophical black gentleman, and he was talking about how you can't stand here and tell me that it wasn't a racist target. And now he's not acting ignorant. He's not acting like I'm going to show you fools. Jones. Like he was very, I don't know what his name was. He was just outside of one of the protests, I think in Washington, D.C., but he was very well put together. And he made the statement. He said, the problem is that people don't understand that the police force by nature is a racist institution. Policing in the United States started because they were chasing down runaway slaves.
Not Republicans.
So
not Republicans.
Anybody who puts on a badge is inherently racist because of this, even if they wouldn't consider themselves or people around them consider themselves racist. They're immediately racist the second that they put on a badge. Wow. And the problem is that as laughable as that is to those of us with some common sense about us, that is the new mindset. And then, because I mean, he wasn't combative in what he was saying. He was just very matter-of-factly like, this is what we need to talk about.
This is why they're desperate. They're flailing about. I mean, nobody's listening to these people anymore, Sandra, and it's good.
Can you blame them?
CNN just suffers its worst ratings in 9 years. People are just fleeing mass media every day, and it's good. It's good for the country. That incident was disgusting. What happened with those people, but they don't talk about. There's a video going around about the police sicking a dog on a white guy and a bunch of them jumping on the guy. Of course, you don't see that one because it doesn't fit the narrative. And also, that police department with those police officers. They keep lowering their standards because they need police officers on that particular police department. They've lowered them. Used to be you needed 50-something hours of college. Now you need 24. And then they started allowing felons on there just because they were trying to get minority officers on the police force, offering $15,000 bonuses. So you go out and you get the worst of the worst, and then you expect them to behave properly. I mean, it's predictable. It's a system problem, all right, but it's not a systemic racism problem. Go ahead.
No, absolutely. Well, I specifically made the statement yesterday. I said, they talked about they lowered their standards, and I didn't know what they had lowered them to. I said, but specifically pay attention. I said, because this police department, and I'm not taking away anything from the chief of police that's there. I don't know her, but she's a black woman. So did she get her position because she's a black woman, or did she get her position because of her time on the force? Did she get her position because of her knowledge of the law, because of her fairness to practice it? Like, why did she get that position? Because we're seeing not just in law enforcement, but all over every single aspect of life, we're seeing where as long as you're a minority and as long as you're a woman, the sky's the limit. But wait. Oh, this is just being a woman is not enough anymore. You have to be a trans woman. So sorry. So sorry to you bios.
Well, Matt Walsh did a piece on this a couple of days ago, which was really good. And he was spot on. He always is. He's a really sharp guy. But his analysis was this, the police woman you're mentioning about the police chief lady coming out prior to the video being released and saying, "Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is the worst thing. This is so bad. Oh my gosh, this is so bad." That was the worst bit of leadership ever.
Yeah.
Had she come out and said, "I've seen the video. I'm deeply concerned. It will be released soon. We are still investigating this matter. The officers will be dealt with swiftly, as the results come in." Like been an adult instead of stoking the fires as she did.
Well,
that was terrible. It was just terrible.
That, and in that instance, for example, this is exactly why women have had to fight so hard to get leadership positions, because then you have a woman who's going on here going, "Oh my God, what do we do? What do we do?" Instead of being like, "Okay, this is how we're going to handle this." And what sucks is that gives all of us level-headed women an opportunity to have to now prove yet again, even harder, that we're not as ridiculous as all of these other women.
Awesome. Yeah. It was bad, and it just makes things worse. I mean, she's like signaling for the riots to happen.
Yeah.
And the cops.
Well,
look, I think those cops should be tried for murder. I do.
Oh, absolutely, they should.
And I mean, I feel the same way every time. That's the difference between us conservatives, us thinking people. Is I hear, "Hey, there was a police shooting," and I say, "What happened?" And that side says there was a police shooting. What color was the guy that got shot? They don't care about anything else. They don't care what the facts of the deal is. They just want to know the race of the shooter. And that don't even matter apparently now, because these are 5 black cops that beat a black guy to death. I mean, so not even the race of the criminal matters to these people anymore. It's just, what color was the guy that got killed or shot or whatever? What color was that guy? They don't. I mean, like the guy with the knife that time, pulled out the knife and had raped his girlfriend, did everything else, and, attacks the cops, gets shot to death, and they go, "Oh, he's a black guy who was killed for no reason, innocent, totally innocent."
Simon was spot on. He feels like it's the boy that cried wolf. A lot of people don't think it's a big deal because of all of the lies.
Well, they do, obviously. They do think it's a big deal. That's why nobody's watching CNN anymore. And
well, but the bigger problem, though, I think, is like you keep seeing all these protests and you keep seeing all these, BLM concepts. People, the normal society is now tuning this out because it's just like, meh. And then you find out half of what they were spewing in the name of justice was not even accurate information. Even the people who are doing the peaceful protests.
Good, Walter, you look deep in thought about something. What's going on, Walter?
Is it the smoke or was it the concentrated look on his face?
No, I'm sorry. I was just going back through my RPT videos from 2018.
To find your reference point, John.
Yeah, that's frustrating. That 2018 situation. I was brand new to the CEC here. We had a chairman who just said, "I'm not going to count your vote as a CEC member. I'm not counting anybody's vote. I'm going to do what I want." The CEC said, "No, you're not going to do that." He persisted. The CEC insisted, and so then they spun this narrative about, man, the CEC was so rude and yelled and shouted him down. I'm done with the stupidity, Walter. I'm not
actually
anymore at all.
I remember giving a speech, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the chairman at the time came unhinged. If I'm not mistaken, he completely and totally burned it down on his own.
Yeah, well, that's true. But the problem we have now is I've got this lady with the Republican Women's Group who has a respected position, who's out there just flat out lying to people about what happened. It's not even a spin thing. It's just she even quotes a lie. She says the SREC did something that you were on the SREC. I read you before the show. It's not true. And then she says, "I will provide the documentation," which is impossible because you don't have it, because it doesn't exist, because you're lying.
Actually,
now, I would give her the benefit of the doubt and say she's mistaken. But when she goes as far as to say, "And I can provide the documentation," that tells me she's just lying. So
Well, no, I actually, that would be a great deal. Let her provide the documentation, and then there is a YouTube video where you can actually read what was stated and how the vote went. Because I specifically remember taking a picture, because It was supposed to be state history. Never before had they ever voted on such a divisive topic, and 63-0 to include one of the SRAC members who was pro Dr. Wally and was his was basically his right-hand girl on the SRAC. She even voted with us, and you can't mistake that. It wasn't 64 because the chairman at the time, James Dickey, decided not to vote. He didn't have to because it was pretty much unanimous. The vice chair at the time, Miss Alma Jackson, she physically said, "I'm just going to weigh in just to up the numbers because of the stupidity. I can't believe this." And here we are yet again.
Well, to give everybody the background on this, 2018, the county executive committee shows up for an organizational meeting and they vote for new bylaws. I think it was 17 days later, the chairman of the party here said, "I'm not recognizing those new bylaws. We're going back to the old bylaws."
Wait a second, John. Actually, I think, didn't he do that on a sit-down video with a bunch of Democrats on the east side of Montgomery County?
I don't know. I just know that 17 days later, he sent a memo out to the county saying he was going back to the old bylaws, unilaterally making a decision, which was not his ability. He didn't have that power. So the CEC opposed him on it. He kept forcing the issue. Every meeting he would show up and say, "We're back at the old bylaws." And the CEC would say, "No, you're not." And this would go back and forth. And it finally escalated to where we said, "Okay, if you think you're right, let's go to the state party and get this mediated. We can do an 8M, but you have to agree." He says, "I'm not agreeing." So then we escalated, as you know, Walter, to a complaint, an 8K complaint. We got the CEC members to sign the complaint and went to the state party. We distilled the issue all the way down to just a question of, is there organizational meeting required? And what's the voting threshold to adopt bylaws? And we did that to help this gentleman who was a lot older, 89 going on 90, to save face, because we weren't attacking him, because a lot of us respected him. I know I voted for him. I think you did too, Walter. And so we were trying to do the respectful thing and take this thing through the channels the proper way. But some people characterized it as elder abuse, what they were doing to this guy. They were feeding him a bunch of false information and using him as the foil while they were trying to push their agenda. So we finally had this thing go before the state party. No one ever asked for a censure. No one ever asked to remove Dr. Wally. That's all complete BS. No one ever yelled at Wally. No one ever threatened anybody about anything. This thing was taken properly through the channels, and the state party voted and said, yes, the law is clear. That a statutory organization meeting is required, and the rules are clear. It's a simple majority for a vote. That's what the SREC voted on, and it was 63-0, wasn't even close, and allowed our chairman, Dr. Wilkerson, to save face, but he wouldn't relent still. Now the problem is every time somebody says something stupid, which is not true in all of this, like this lady is doing now, and if I confront her about it, then John's being mean and attacking a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You see the trap. It's right there. But what do you do?
Knee.
Just let them keep lying and being ignorant? I mean, what do you do?
Hey, Tanya Harding, go for the knee, buddy. Go for the knee.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I get a little fired up about this.
Well, and that's actually funny.
Sandra off. I started talking about women being ignorant, and Sandra just logged right off.
No.
That was Facebook censoring her because, well, we all know what that means. But no.
What does that mean, Walter?
Wait a second. Wait, John. I didn't realize this till right now. But they just want to overturn the election started right here in 2018.
Yeah.
I was reliving a painful moment in American history because I wanted to make sure that I had the exact quote from our beloved President Joe Biden for something that we were going to talk about in just a little bit. And you know me, I don't like to misquote people, especially when it's the president.
Well, let me go. I'll tell you what, we're all into Texas and local stuff now. Let me go all the way back and let's start from the beginning. May I please? On the international level, because there's a lot of stuff happening on this big blue marble that we're on. Hong Kong is loosening its quarantine rules right now, their restrictions. Hong Kong is saying, well, we're going to kind of loosen this up because this has not been a real good deal for us. And as they do that, people are flooding in from China on a daily basis because China is strengthening their COVID rules and restrictions. And the death rate is soaring in China, so people are flooding into Hong Kong now. Food shortages are worldwide, which I hope you're going to show that Tucker video later. to talk about the food shortages, but is this by design? You have UK grocery store inflation up a record 16.7%. It's about $900 a year in more food that these people have to pay for, food prices in the UK, which is bad. On the national level, let me talk about that for a second. So is this population control thing, Sandra, do you think it's actually a thing? Do you think that's what's going on? I'm going to show you some screens here real quick. Bear with me. We're doing like high-tech stuff. These are countries right here with population declines in the world. You see them: Bulgaria, Lithuania, Latvia, Ukraine, Serbia, Croatia, Moldova, Japan, Albania. These are all population decreases across the world. Meanwhile, I want you to look at the countries with the population increases and see if you notice anything interesting about these. Syria, Niger, Angola, Benin, Uganda, Malawi, Congo, Chad, Burundi, Mali, Zambia. So Africa is growing big time, which is fine, but the rest of the world, I mean, there's really nothing here. None of these countries are European at all. In Japan, none of the population growth ones are. So what does that mean? Well, let's hear what Bill Gates has to say about this. Let me go back and see if I can get his oops, dang it. Here we go.
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Did you hear that?
Hang on. How does a vaccine, which is supposed to preserve life?
That's right.
Can you just play that little bit just one more time for the people in the back?
One more time. Come on.
Great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services. We could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
What in the hell?
Well, is he talking
I have
about
so much to say.
Is he talking about birth vaccines? Do they have a birth vaccine? You know what? They should, because there's some of the dumbest women in America and other places on the left. They shouldn't reproduce. So just give them the jab. Oh, wait a second. I'm sorry.
Isn't that something, though? I mean, when you see the populations declining, you see, China, as we mentioned on the show, 80% of the population has COVID, while 90% of them are vaccinated, and their death rate soaring. You see in the United States, as we mentioned before, remdesivir has a higher kill rate than the Black Death did, the plague did, 17% on that, over 50% on remdesivir. They are straight up murdering people. My friend was the lead singer for the band Skid Row, Johnny Zollinger. He got COVID, and they took him to the hospital and stuck remdesivir in him, and he passed away. My friend Rod Kelly, same deal. All healthy people. What the hell's going on, Sandra? What is going on?
Now,
Can you play
Jon,
the Tucker Carlson video?
I can't. Well, hold on. I got to cue it up to the part where Tucker is specifically talking about population control. But this is something when COVID. Okay, just to let you know, we're gonna get this episode is gonna get taken off of YouTube because YouTube took off something when allegedly the Montgomery County Tea Party was talking about the jab, and that was misinformation. I just got that sent to me this morning, so. Just if you love watching us on YouTube, this episode's not sticking around. So one of the things that is the second.
Hey, we're on Twitter. We are on Twitter.
We are also on Twitter, and we are also on Facebook, and you can watch us live on TECN.TV. However, just to let you know. So anyway, as soon as COVID was announced, the second that the boys found out that they could not go to school for 2 weeks, they both came to me. They were young teens. They both came to me and said, "Mom, this sounds exactly like population control. They've been trying to do this in CHINA for a long time." I'm afraid to say the word out loud. I might get censored immediately.
China.
But I mean, literally, we're seeing this now. If you let me pull this up really quick because you guys need to see. Well, actually, here I'm going to pull this video up because this is convenient. Hold on.
I've got the one with Biden keyed up if you want to watch.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you have that one. All right, Charlotte.
9 minutes and 44 seconds.
Sorry,
long
guys.
If you want to see it all?
No, I don't. I this is just the quick clip that Walter made. Hold on.
Okay.
Of the 9-minute video.
Oh, good.
Busy San Ysidro border crossing in California, word traveling fast about a new good being smuggled into the U.S. U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported an 108% increase in seized egg products and poultry that people have tried to smuggle through U.S. ports of entry in just the last 2 months.
So are we being a little paranoid about the American food supply? Yes, we are. And we're proud of it. And our leaders should be even more paranoid always about, watch this.
Wow. Yeah, smuggling eggs is what they're smuggling in.
But you have to snuggle when you smuggle so you don't crack a the egg.
Well, there was a lady on there talking about, she's a farmer. She was talking about the egg shortage, and she said that when she believes that it's the feed, because chickens all across the nation are producing less eggs, and they think that there's something going on with the food supply for the chickens because it's reducing the number of eggs they produce. And she said when she switched back to a local feed, all her problems stopped.
Well, and you know what? When I saw that originally, oh wait, wrong person. When I saw that originally, I thought on the whole, people who are doing their own home farming, whether it's a garden, whether it is whatever, you should not be using the store-based whatever. So like you should be using, it should be organic, because the concept is not just your own food supply. It's for better tasting food. It's for a healthier food. It's for trying to not go to the grocery store as much, whatever you're using it for. Like when I did my garden, it was fantastic. I got to brag about my garden a couple weeks ago. And I mean, we're starting it back up again this year because we have to, number one. Number two, because we have to. But also, one of the things that you notice immediately is the taste of the food. If you go from traditional food to organic foods, you immediately notice the taste. And even if you go from organic foods that are store-bought to straight from the farmer, you notice a difference in the taste. So when these women were talking about, or these people, not just women, were talking about they were using the chicken feed, why are you using chicken feed? You should be like it's so easy to make your own chicken food. It's stupid. And most of the time, the best thing for them is your leftover vegetables anyway.
Sorry. I don't know about all that.
Let me explain what the term organic means. It means that it is not highly processed and it is not used with chemicals or pesticides. I had an actual, because I was looking at marketing. This is before I went into to actually running for office or anything like this. This was years ago when Arthur was little. So if you have to have the first 6 inches of your soil has got to be organic soil, which means it's never been processed. It's never been used with chemicals. Like it's pure. It's super pure. Your regular soil that's out here is here in Laredo, our sod is not real. It's just dust. So you have to put down soil anyway. So that's the difference. And it is. It's got a completely different flavor to it. It's unbelievable. I sound like a crazy person. This is why people used to call me a crunchy mom.
You know what your soy tastes like? Your sod tastes like down there in Laredo?
What, Walter?
Oh, you said it.
I don't even know what's happening right now.
I don't know what just happened either. We're talking about. I'm also uncomfortable.
So I'm going to move along now.
Thank you.
On January 25th, just a few days ago, 6 days ago, House Republicans led by Representative Salazar of Florida's 27th district put forth House Resolution number 9, which calls for all members of Congress to denounce socialism. Wow. The resolution, which is titled, aptly, Denouncing the Horrors of Socialism, has now been referred to the House Committee on Financial Services, where it has sat for the last 6 days. So far, surprisingly, only 97 of the 222 Republican House members have signed on to the bill. Let me read the last two lines, pretty telling. It says, whereas the United States of America was founded on the belief in the sanctity of the individual, to which the collectivist system of socialism in all its forms is fundamentally and necessarily opposed, now therefore be it resolved by the House of Representatives, with the Senate concurring, that Congress denounces socialism in all its forms and opposes the implementation of socialist policies in the United States of America. I'm going to tell you, Sandra, this is a brilliant move, because before you point your finger at one of these socialists and say, you're a socialist, they say, no, I'm not. And then they go on the campaign trail and say, I'm a socialist. So this puts them on record for everybody to see. And I think this is brilliant. What do you guys think about this? And why aren't the other 222 Republicans signed on to this thing?
Sandra, I'll let you hit that one.
Ask that question again. I'm sorry. I was dealing with stupidness on our Facebook page. I apologize. Go ahead.
Wow. I said, why haven't all the other Republicans? Why haven't all the Republicans signed on to this? I said, I think this is brilliant because these Democrats, these socialists, when you say you're a socialist, they go, no, I'm not. I'm not. And then they go out and they campaign to the socialists as socialists. So I think this puts them on record in a very public and clear way that they are not opposing socialism. Why are we only have 97 Republicans of the 222 signed on? Where are the rest of them, Sandra?
That's a great question. The thing is that they don't want to be on record, because if they're on record, then they have to be held accountable. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Accountable. Oh, sorry. Oh, wait, I'm not a politician. So it doesn't matter. I'm fine with it. But the problem is they don't want to be held accountable, because what they're seeing happening is they're seeing that we, the people, are not just listening to Fox News and CNN anymore, and we're actually doing our own research, and that scares the crap out of them.
Yeah. What do you think, Walter? I did look to see if my guy was on there, and he signed up already, Luttrell. So
good. Well, and remember, they sign up on stuff, they don't author stuff. So, again, they get to hide behind. They hide behind, I'm going to vote for it or not. Hey, listen, I failed. I failed you guys immensely. I need to get a secret out to the American public. And I'm going to do this in the best way possible. A friend of mine, Eduardo, he has been helping me out here lately. If you send plastic toys across the border, you can physically get this is a young immigrant child that comes across with this puppy, and people are allowing this to happen all across the southern border right now. So don't look at it as snuggling or smuggling. Look at it as growing your egg population.
That is an excellent example of what's going on at the border. Thank you, Walter.
And I agree. I really agree.
Now we're going to be scrambling.
Shut up and take my money.
Scrambling to get past that, Walter.
So Alexandra is spot on. For most local farmers, they're already doing organic farming, but they don't want to have to pay to get the stamp put on it, because it costs a ton of money. So if you adhere though to the organic standards, you still have the same benefits. But that is the concept, because Simon was asking. So it is a matter of a stamp, but it's also a matter of not using the pesticides. And it's tough. I had to go and buy these special bugs that eat the other bugs that were trying to eat my squash. Like it's not. There is a science to it. My cousin, shut up, John. I ordered 1,000 ladybugs because I could not harness enough ladybugs on my I said
Oh my God. Anyway, moving on.
Is it time for a commercial or something on this show? Oh my gosh.
So as we can see, Sandra is definitely a feminist, because she's only ordering ladybugs by the thousands.
By the thousands.
So you remember, there's an old joke. I won't get it exactly right, but some guy stops by his friend's house, and his friend's wife answers the door, and he jokingly says, "Hey, I've got $1,000, baby. What can I get for that?" And she goes, "Well, my husband's on a hurry up and come in." She rips his clothes off and does unspeakable things to him. And then an hour or so later, the husband gets home and goes, "Hey, did my friend stop by? He owed me $1,000. He was dropping it off." You know, this is what the Ukraine situation feels like with them trying to buy F-16s from us right now. Does it not? They're trying to buy F-16s, but we're sending them all the money. What? I don't get it.
So we're sending more money, but I'm also seeing. I'm looking at chats right now over in Europe. Specifically, some of the parliament members are commenting, and deep into the comments of these people that they're putting in there, they're talking about how Zelensky is a fraud, and how they're finally able to start taking the bank accounts down, and they're going after his money. And I'm like, well, the U.S. Americans are the ones putting money into his bank,
Yeah.
and then all these people are confiscating the dollars that are in the banks throughout Europe, throughout the EU, and there's a whole secret thing going on over there where they're stating that, and these are European Union members, they're physically stating that titanium is what he is delivering back to the United States. So this is actually something where I think the Congress needs to actually physically have a hearing on this and put that out for the American public so we can actually see what's going on, because there's too many behind the scenes deals right now. I would love to see, I would like to see the media get off of George Santos and just put, if we could just put body mics, body cams on all the politicians, like what Aaron had promoted. We need to do that. That way we can see what's going on behind the scenes. If it works in Memphis, it ought to work in Congress, don't you think?
Well, what I don't understand about this administration is what the hell is Joe Biden? What's his goal? I mean, is his goal really to destroy America? Because look, if you're trying to do that, you do exactly what this guy's doing, right?
Exactly.
Well, the F-16 thing, I don't know why that became such a contentious issue. Walter, you're a military guy. You know how many countries have our F-16s? Because I'm sure he's claiming he's protecting the technology because he's refusing to sell F-16s to the Ukraine, which, how many countries have F-16s, Walter?
I can't tell you that. I mean, we're dwindling in F-16s.
More than, you think it's more than 3? What if I told you Greece has F-16s, the Netherlands, Belgium, Israel, Poland, Denmark, Iraq, Pakistan, and Portugal, just to name a few. All these countries have F-16s. So if you think our technology isn't already out there on the open market, you are what we call stupid.
That seems fair.
So I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it. We just keep sending them truckloads of money over there, and then all of a sudden they'll say, "Okay, we want to use some of your money to buy some F-16s," and we go, "Nope, not doing it because of reasons." I don't get it. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad they're not in Russia, supposedly making gains over there, but who knows what's going on? Nobody can tell the truth. What a mess. Let's go to Texas now. Natural gas output in Texas is at an all-time high. I mean, we created 2.6 million jobs here in Texas, Walter, with the natural gas record sales, $24.7 billion in state revenue generated in natural gas sales. I think this probably has a lot to do with population growth and the colder winter here recently. Since July 2021, the population of Texas has increased by over 470,000 people, which is the largest gain in the nation, by the way. Texas boasts a population of over 30 million right now, and according to the U.S. Census Bureau, it's the fastest growing state in the nation. Did y'all know that?
Yep.
The states with the shrinking population, who are the losers in this deal as Texas is winning? Well, Alaska, no surprise there. Who the hell wants to live in Alaska? But then the rest of them.
Eskimos.
West Virginia, Illinois, New York, Vermont, New Jersey. I mean, do you see a pattern here?
Well, and which states are growing?
Yeah, exactly.
So we're physically importing morons here, and then they're taking all the migrants and shoving them up into the states where they're refilling the homes that are being sold or being repossessed.
Yeah, California does have some population loss also, but the ones I named were as a percentage were a lot bigger. But California is one of the ones that's leading body counts, more people leaving state. And I'm gonna tell you what they started doing. You know what exit taxes are, right, Walter?
Yep.
When you declare that you're renouncing your U.S. citizenship, essentially the IRS will come in, take an inventory of all of your assets, and it doesn't mean you're selling them, but they're going to treat it as if you've liquidated them the day before you've been expatriated. So they're going to charge you taxes on all this stuff at fair market value, allegedly, as if you sold it all, and collect that money from you. So you're going to have to pay to leave this exit taxes. Well, some of these states that are losing population so quickly, they have decided that they want to implement exit taxes. But the problem they have, of course, is exit taxes between states is what you call illegal. So they can't do it. So the way they work around that is they send an IRS agent into your front room to say, let me do an audit. Oh, look how much taxes you owe. So this is happening now too in this.
Well,
so wait a minute though. We just had a huge increase, if you will, of people like Tom Hanks and some of these others who have now left the United States to seek citizenship in other countries like Greece.
No, they're seeking asylum from prosecution in case your boys' island logbooks ever get released, which apparently is the only secure document in DC. Is
that is also a fact.
Yeah.
That's true. It's true. I saw it myself on the border.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
You know what? Let's take a commercial break. I feel like now's a good time to take a
excellent suggestion.
Oh, God help us. God help us. for our next trick, I have to figure out how to do this so that we don't have to I have to remove us all individually and then put us back on individually. Wait a minute, we didn't.
It's really simple.
Wait,
You just
no, stop.
press that.
Saucy. Salacious. Stephanic. Scammer. Santos.
John let you down this time, Walt. I even
John.
moved things around to trigger Simon's OCD so that John and Walter could dance together.
I killed it though. I took it down. I took it down quickly. I didn't dance this time. I'm sorry.
That's what I was talking about. But now that the music has been played, do it, because I wanted to talk about that. That was what I was going to also right now, because it's breaking news and we are breaking on this show.
George
Santos
is stepping down from his two committees. He says he's doing so because he doesn't want to be a distraction. While the ethics investigation goes on about him for lying about being whatever the hell he lied about being, everything apparently. Apparently the only thing he said that is true is that he is gay and wears stupid glasses. That's it.
So, one of the articles that I was reading was talking about how he's doing it at a perfect timing because it's hard for them to hold people like Ilhan Omar or Adam Schiff or Eric Swalwell accountable to kick them off of committees.
Did you say swallow well?
It's not that easy. And also, so just to make it not so, I'm keeping a straight face. John, stop.
I'm not sure what's going on here right now.
I was talking about the gay guy. Congressman Santos.
It's Gabriel.
It wasn't Gabriel, honey. Anyway.
He was Jewish. Speaking of Jewish.
Yeah, I can't believe Swalwell's reaction to being kicked off the Intelligence Committee was, I don't understand this. You're sleeping with a Chinese spy, you dumbass. I mean, what do you mean you don't understand this? On what planet is that going to be okay for a guy on the Intelligence Committee?
But she offered me eggs.
Was her Fang Fang is her name or something? Was that
Oh!
Shut up. No, it's not. You just made that up.
It is.
Tell me you made that up.
Yeah. No, it is.
Someone make that stop.
You know, it's all fun and games until someone sinks your teeth into them. Oh, but oh, boom.
Yeah.
You know what? I had so many comments, and I'm just gonna not release them onto the air when you said that. I'm gonna behave myself.
Well,
I can show decorum.
hey, I had invited Daniel Miller to be on our show someday, the Texas guy, and I gotta tell you, he's a very good public speaker. What'd y'all think about his presentation the other day at the event?
I think he did definitely delivered an emotional speech. And I think he's hitting the nail on the head. We just need to get it to where we get our legislators to start creating policy to back up the rhetoric. We've been speaking about this for 10 years, and all we've got is we've got a gold bullion depository in the state of Texas is the only thing we've got. We don't have any type of strategic petroleum reserve. We don't have any type of, we have our own ERCOT, but then look how screwed up that is. And then, of course, we have all of our soil being sold to China, to a Chinese billionaire general, and billionaire general create wind farm, and the wind farm come in, and Tony Gonzalez say, give me all your money for my campaign. And then we don't have Republicans that help to create a more independent state to be in.
It was a little bit painful.
This is we got to fix things at the foundation. We talk about that a lot on this show. We have to. And one of the things that we need to fix, I sent this out yesterday. This is going to our legislators. Since at last count, there were 40 counties in Texas having issues with rogue county chairmen. And although the Republican Party of Texas rules explicitly asserts the authority to remove chairs that are derelict in their duties, as a practical matter, this becomes very difficult when the chair is elected and the state Texas election code makes no such provision to remove them. Also, because of the lack of clear direction for dealing with rogue chairs within the Texas election code, the Republican Party of Texas and local parties are faced with the prospect of spending precious time and resources every biennium trying to bring these rogue chairmen in line. I think we could all agree that our efforts would be much better utilized in advancing Republican principles and getting out a Republican vote instead of dealing with wayward chairmen. To address the issue, I'm making the following suggestions. 3 options for legislative action. Number 1, allow the CEC to elect a chair which is consistent with RPT Platform 248, where it says Republican Party operations, we support the election of the Republican county chairs by their respective county executive committees where they exist. We support removing the Republican Party of Texas from the election code. Pretty makes sense, right? Number 2, allow the CEC and or state party to remove county chairs when they go rogue and violate party rules. We have over 40 county chairs going rogue right now, and this saps the time, energy, and resources of the state and local parties. Number 3, make the TEC consistent with RPT rules by removing the election of the county chair from the TEC entirely. I'd humbly ask that one of you prayerfully consider offering up these legislation, blah, blah, blah. I'd send it to them. So that went to all our legislators, went to our SREC people and all our legislators. I copied Matt Rinaldi on it, and I copied Matt Patrick, who's part of the mediation team. Now, our problem right now, as you guys know, Walter, is everybody keeps saying we're going to fix this at convention. But when you get to convention, you're trying to put back in the dog because the primary is over with at that point. And you're writing rules for the biennium that's you don't have a time machine. You can't go back and fix that. And by the time you write the rules, the next primary comes and you're starting the thing all over again. So we got to fix this now. What do you think, Walter?
So actually, what you just put down there is exactly what we tried to do in 2018 into the 2019 cycle. Matt Rinaldi wasn't there because he had just lost his election and did not return to the House. But it wasn't even allowed in committee. Which committee was hosting it? It would be Stephanie Click's committee. And Stephanie Click was dead set against it. We had a lot of SREC members that was pushing it at that time. And here we are a couple years later discussing the same thing yet again on the party level. However, the party at that time was working in not so much with the grassroots. You had to have an organization like the Montgomery County Tea Party, or that was very engaged would be Grassroots America, We the People with Joanne Fleming. Her group was on the foreground of pushing that kind of stuff. At that time, we had a pretty transparent SREC that was actually pro-liberty.
The heckler, Simon.
Can you imagine? Hey, I know your campaign. Get on the Boucher bus.
Yeah, it's a short one for sure. Simon cracks me up. He's that guy that, it's like the interrogators in Vietnam. They'd say, "Would you like a piece of food?" Really, it's okay. Pow, and then it hits you. You never know.
This is real life talk. I've never let these words leave my body before until this moment. So y'all all get to hear it together. Oh Jesus. So I have thought multiple times about having Simon physically on the show, but his comments keep the show alive so well. It's like the off-screen commentator, like on one of the late night programs. That is Simon's role.
Yeah, Simon, you're
Simon's
something
so
else.
funny.
Right.
I love Simon. He's like my favorite.
He's the you can do it guy in the crowd. You can do it.
Oh, not even wrong.
I love it.
Well, Sandra, we got an hour left on this show, and I've done everything that I can do. So I'm we got to move forward now, I guess.
Well,
I guess we'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I kid.
Sandra's gonna do the lumberjack dance.
First of all, it's the lumberjack song, Walter.
Lumberjack.
We got a Tea Party meeting coming up on February 6th, first and third Monday of every month. It's off of Unflav Drive in Conroe off 1488. 6:30 p.m. at Citizens Grill. You should join us there. Lots of great activists there. We have our legislative session right now. One of the things we're working on with the legislative committee here in Montgomery County with the Republican Party on the official website, and I'll put it here in the comments, is www.mctxgop.org. That is the official website of the local Republican Party. And we're going to start linking up what we're talking about. We're going to meet with the legislative committee, but one of the ideas that came up was to put our legislators' contact information on the local Republican Party page. I think that's a good idea to put that on there, and also keep track of the bills that they are sponsoring or are signed on to, and also put the legislative priorities on so you can compare all those things. So rather than do legislative watches and legislative alerts, which can be really cumbersome. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of bills. I mean, which ones you want to watch? I mean, I can go to LegWatch or there's any number of sites where I can track legislation if it's something I'm interested in. But I think to the average citizen going to the Republican Party website, being able to pull up our legislator, first of all, to know who they are, and then to see how what they're supporting comports with the legislative priorities of the Republican Party, I think has some benefit. What do you guys think?
No, I think that's fantastic. And actually, you just sparked a creative bubble inside of my soul, Jon. So one of the things that I think it's important that when we go to visit our legislators, that we take them something, right? It can be, a can of Dr. Pepper.
I got a friend. I have a friend who had a great idea.
She did have a great idea. I was mad that she didn't do it. But hear me out. What if this could be a Texas Fully Loaded project, but we're going to need the funds to be able to do it, guys. So don't forget to go to TexasFullyLoaded.com, click on hashtag We the People Work, and contribute for this. This is serious talk. I would love to be able to frame, it doesn't even have to be a super fancy frame the legislative priorities for all of our Republican legislators and put Texas Fully Loaded on it. Let them know, hey, we're coming to visit you. We're bringing you this. This is what we expect from you because we elected you as a Republican because you are supposed to adhere to our party platform. And this is how this We the People Work works. So serious as a heart attack, go to TexasFullyLoaded.com, click on hashtag We the People Work. I want to be able to take all of our Texas legislators, a framed copy, so they can't just throw it somewhere. Like I would like it to be able to sit above their desk and say, hey, or maybe even like a laminated card that they can keep on their desk yes, exactly. Hashtag, it's called the Do Your Job Project. Hashtag Do Your Job Project, sponsored by Texas Fully Loaded. I think that'd be a fantastic idea, but it's not a free idea. So I need you guys to reach into your pockets and throw some cash into the concept.
I wanted to have an educational moment. Activists are always asking how they can get involved. They want to know what's going on in Austin because this is where it all really happens. If it doesn't, they play games, they delay legislation, they kill it in calendars. This was the big fight about Democrat chairs, etc. So they play games. So if you go to, I put the link in here, www.legiscan.com/Texas. And then you go over here to full text search. And if you want to search something, type in water, for example, and you'll see that 155 bills have come up with the water results. You can look at the last action that's happened, the most recent action on any water law. You can go to the detail of the bill. You can see who sponsored the bill, honoring Ben Service, blah, blah, blah. Sponsors of the bill, and you can go through, you read the text of the bill. You can see how the bill, you can track the bill. You can see where it's going. This is a phenomenal tool. So you can see what's happening with the legislative process. Where are we at? So legiscan.com is a good place to go to track these bills, to see who's voting for them and who's not. And if your legislator's doing their job. So this is a good place to go. And there's also TLO on the mctxgop.org website that you can go to and also track it. That's another tracking device. So check it out.
The way you said that, it's another tracking device.
Tracking mechanism or program, database program, whatever.
I'd like to point out for those of you who are just listening, you might not be physically holding your device that you're watching our show on. Simon has pledged for every $5 Pookie donation, he'll donate 1 nickel. We
And
have our
remember,
first pledge. Right.
Free Pookie. Free Pookie.
I don't even know what that means. Again, Pookie. I'm not part of this. Hashtag Bobert's boyfriend, not part of this.
That one's a little bit of a mouthful.
Bobert's boyfriend.
As soon as I said that,
We're gonna be careful with
immediately.
People have no sense of humor when I do stuff like that. They're like, John's
People just,
seeing some woman. I'm like, oh, come on, people are stupid.
We have pictures of them together, clearly.
Clearly.
Simon says, I say Bobert's side piece.
Bobert's side. Yeah.
See, he's like the perfect heckler. You haven't reached boyfriend status.
I'm in the friend zone. I'm in Bobert's friend zone. Thank you. Don't remind me.
Now that's good stuff. I don't care who you are. You people, you need to unclench your pearls for a second. Pull the wedgie out. Okay.
So
Wait. We never finished our Santos moment. Please hold on a second, guys. No, you don't have to play the music again, Walter. Just stop yourself. I have a question. This is real talk questions. So the real talk question is, what is Santos going to do in Washington, D.C.? His constituents are not with him at all anymore. None of the elected officials underneath of him in his state are with him at all anymore. He's not on committees anymore, or I guess any less. What is he doing other than voting?
fashion shows. Yeah.
Bringing donuts to the press, which I mean, I appreciate. Wait, I saw that, Simon. He said you'll have to play it again.
I'll do it. Do it.
Seditious. Saucy. Salacious. Stephanic. Scammer. Santos.
So nice.
Wow. This is exciting. So, okay. So, what is he doing? You know what the problem is with some of these videos?
I actually heard that he is working for a wool sweater company, and he is modeling their sweaters.
Who's that?
That would be George Santos. And next week, I believe he is going to start wearing an ascot, and he's going to bring the ascot back.
I never know if you're serious at all.
Well, he's supposedly supposed to walk into Congress for the first vote of next week, and they're going to play Carly Simon's "You're So Vain" as he struts in, like the much acclaimed video from the 70s.
You know, I named my daughter after Carly Simon.
Because Jon
I didn't know
Bouche,
that.
Music thing.
"You're So Vain."
You think I'm vain?
I bet you think this song is about you.
Are y'all talking about me again?
Never. And if we were, it's only good things. I'm trying to finish my Santos moment, and I had something, but then it was a video, and I get angry because it gives you just enough context in the header to click on it, but then it doesn't finish. It doesn't finish the job. And so anyway, apparently Marjorie Taylor Greene is now weighing in on our dear friend George Santos. I'm sure she's just absolutely distraught. Those psychos like to stick together.
Oh, she's defending him.
Is she really?
Oh, I know what
I
it's
believe
like
so.
to be silenced when Nancy put me in the closet and said I couldn't come out and I couldn't go to committee meetings. I believe she sat in all the interesting committee meetings and became a heckler from the back pages, back pews. But the other thing is, this would actually allow George Santos, if he doesn't have any committee hearings, he would be able to do more fundraising for the RNC.
Wow.
Because the RNC decided to bring back Rana. We have the Rana virus part 4.
You know, I'm watching this video of it. You know what? I'm gonna play it. I don't know what all's being said. Hold on.
Hey,
you know what?
put it up
I
there.
think I will. Hold on, let me get past the commercial. Can I get past the commercial? You know, I'm watching this, and you can see at the beginning, like, where he thinks he's having fun, and like, I got these people on the run. Now everybody's saying my name. And now I think he's getting some second, you know, he's having a couple of regrets there. I think he is. Don't do this to me. I just don't want your stupid commercial. Why can't I click? Just let me click.
Is your clicker not working, Sandra?
Every time I click, okay. Pause. Sound. Stream. Okay, here it is. Okay, here it is. Share.
Recognize that he could be in some trouble here. And remember, he has been defiant all along, saying that he's done nothing wrong, he's got nothing to hide, saying he would not resign moving forward as a normal member of Congress, despite admitting to a number of lies, facing investigations, questions about his campaign finance, new revelations that seem to come out almost daily that have hurt this embattled congressman and threatened his career here in Congress. Now telling his conference behind closed doors that he will not serve on 2 key committee assignments that were actually given to him by the Speaker of the House, along with his top allies, despite some pushback and concerns that he would sit on these committees. He made very clear just moments ago to his conference that he would step aside until these legal issues are resolved. That is the Senate, that's the House Small Business Committee, as well as the House Science Committee. Neither of those committees he plans to participate in until these matters have resolved to his satisfaction. And he told the Speaker about this decision last night, and Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I just caught up with, indicated how Santos's message was received.
He just felt like that there was so much drama, really, over the situation, and especially what we're doing to work to remove Ilhan Omar from the Foreign Affairs Committee. He said that this was a decision that he made on his own.
Now, that was in reference to the effort by the House Republicans to try to remove Congresswoman Ilhan Omar from the House Foreign Affairs Committee, the Democrat from Minnesota, for her past remarks. There have been criticism from Democrats that they're allowing Santos to serve on these committees, but trying to oust Omar from hers. But Santos making it clear to his members that he doesn't want to undercut their efforts to try to remove Omar. That requires a vote of the full House.
I have some real problems with the people who are on his side, because they're supposed to be the people who are on our side. I am physically getting ill over this.
Simon, she's just white. No. So essentially, they're trying to give him an out, which they never should have given him the in. You know, again, it's John's comment about putting the cat back in the turd back in the cat. You know, it's exactly what they're doing.
Exactly what you said.
Yeah.
I was about to say that's your term, Walter, but I mean.
Well, here, kitty, Mr. Bigglesworth. I mean, I bet he's even got a Mr. Bigglesworth.
Hey, he neutered 3,000 cats.
Can you think of what we will do with kitty cat nuts? I just can't.
This is an actual thing, John. He one of his claims to fame is that he's neutered 3,000 cats.
What? I mean,
cut the balls off. Yes. Don't worry about transgender kitty no more.
Secret Service just arrested a man for impersonating a police officer carrying knives near the Capitol. Breaking news.
No. Yeah.
Remember the guys that up on my phone.
Remember the ones that used to jump over the fence at the White House that had guns and knives and all kind of stuff? Yeah. Same thing happens all the time.
Happens all the time.
I'm trying to see if there's anything going on in this big crazy world we live in, but I haven't really seen anything
You
yet.
know, one of the things that I think has been the funnest about watching this whole was he wearing a bagel?
Cindy
Oh,
Williams
a badge.
passed away.
I thought you said a bagel. That is also a fair question. Did he have bagels? Because if he had bagels, I feel like a lot would have been made more clear. Oh Jesus, Walter.
It was a tactical knife.
Anyway, one of the things that a lot of the commentators have been talking about with George Santos is his claim to fames are ridiculous, right? Like his claims to success, I should say, not even fame. His claims to success. For example, he was on this championship volleyball team. You know, most guys like to pretend that they were the captain of the football team or the captain of the baseball team or whatever. But he was...
I was the smallest one on the team.
Or like to pretend like they beat up a guy named Corn Pop. Yeah.
I was the smallest one on the team, and we would bounce around and we would spike the ball over the net. Yes, that's right. I'm just George Santos. Elect me.
John, I need a safe space.
I'm trying to log off right now. That's why I'm not looking at the screen. Trying desperately to log off.
He's mergered allegedly or overseen $1.5 billion worth of funds that nobody can account for, and nobody's heard of this company. It's like a shell company, but it sounds really good. He went to he had all of these jobs, and it sounded really good, but none of it was like, it was just stupid. And I'll tell you why. He said that those things were happening because it's so minuscule that nobody would look into it. That's why.
But
I mean, it's
did.
But see, I'm still upset about the timeline of when they did it. All of these people had the ability to do this sooner. It was a Brazilian podcast that actually started raising the flags.
Actually, what people like?
Are you doing cocaine or something, or meth? Is that what you do with
people like to be spoon fed, no matter how you do it. And on the border, how do we cook? Here you go. Come on. This right here will give you egg fumes, people.
John didn't even like that was funny.
He can see it in the replay because John watches this.
I saw the spoon with the egg in it.
Did you see my lighter come up? It was perfect because it was like
pretty soon.
Pretty soon, to find a list of George Santos lies, but
wait, here we go.
Pretty soon, John, we're going to be able to sell this like on the black market. Come to East Montgomery County. I'm gonna call.
We will cook your huevos.
I'm gonna call the Laughing Jackass and see if I can buy a commercial.
The Laughing Jackass. I haven't heard that.
Ken, why do you let us be on the air sometimes? Oh my gosh.
I haven't heard that in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So
sorry. Sometimes we have squirrel moments. What did we dub it on Friday, Walter? That 2023 was ADD and me year or something like that.
ADD in 2023.
I did have to laugh at Suzanne Rogers, and I do see your text message, Miss Suzanne. I'll text you later. But she said from Friday's show, she said, missed the beginning, but I got on for the comedy show. I have a new name for those moments. Texas fully unwound.
All my rowdy friends are dead and gone.
You're not that old, Walter.
They took the vaccine, but they took it wrong. Oh, you're absolutely correct. Unwound.
Well, I'm trying to see what
George
all.
Santos.
George.
I mean, he just has ridiculous claims to fame. It doesn't make any sense at all. Also, this is new. Also, so apparently, there is a lawsuit against Bobby O'Rourke.
What?
Why a billionaire's lawsuit against Bobby O'Rourke portends a bleak future of dark money contributions. Apparently, billionaire Kelsey Warren is suing O'Rourke for defamation after he publicly denounced Warren's $1 million donation to Texas Governor Abbott's 2020 campaign or 2021 campaign. So,
well, I've been defamed, so and a lawyer has sent a letter out about it. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Seems as though our chairman has been out there sending letters to the county claiming that I've been indicted.
You know
or
what?
arrested
think-
for fraud or embezzlement or something, which you can't do that. And of course, they artfully word it about this case is in the hands of law enforcement and send it out there with my name on it. So first of all, there is no case and there's nothing with law enforcement because first of all, look, every police officer in this county, even if they are totally in the tank for these people, they're not stupid enough to risk losing their careers by doing some sort of official oppression on behalf of the stupidity of our chairman and his wife. It just wouldn't happen. Nobody's going to do that. So there are no charges, but he did. So we'll see if he does a retraction. I did want to take a moment if we got time to show off the new website that was created, the new Republican Party website here. I think you'll really like it, Sandra.
I'm excited.
Check this out. I mean, it's amazing. Our team, our leadership, of course. It's got county chairman, your vice chairman, yours truly, Stacey Ernest, Charles Shirley, et cetera, et cetera. The coolest thing about this website, though, is something we had added that was missing before. We have our mission statement, our party platform, legislative priorities of the state party. We talk about our, how to volunteer. There's a volunteer. Oh, you can click on take action, register to vote. We can do here. Who represents me? Find your state representative, your legislator, and all that stuff. You can also find your precinct chair. But the one I'm most proud of down here, we got our events calendar. You can donate to the party, but right here, prayer requests.
I love that. That's awesome.
So we added that to the website now.
Now I have a question, John. This is just because I like to see things that others don't. You had a spot on there where it was see who represents me. Is that who represents me? Do we have people who are representing headless people?
Yes.
Okay, that's important.
It's Ichabod Crane faction.
Very diverse.
Yes.
Very diverse.
Why did you have to say that? Anyway, so then we have our news
You're
section.
welcome.
We have our newsletter, which is amazing. Check out our newsletter. The Reporter. This is the latest version of it. You should subscribe to this. It'll give you all the latest information. Talks about what's happening in Austin, the rule change to ban Democrat chairs, how to contact your representatives, how the legislative process works. There's a precinct chair spotlight where we talk about this one's focused on Ginger Russell. I mean, we just an amazing look. I mean, you see where we are
this
now
is
as compared to where we once were. I mean, the advocate training, we had about 100 people meet for advocate training to understand how to take political action, to be an activist. That was impressive. That was put on by Bonnie Lyons and the True Texas Project. People came up to do that. Our upcoming events, our legislative session. Again, we would invite you to subscribe to the newsletter. So just go to the main page and go to News, Republican Reporter, and then select on one and just go down and just hit subscribe. We would love to have you subscribe, get involved, check out the events. So what do you think, Sandra? Is that just really impressive?
No, it is. I'm actually incredibly jealous of not just the cleanliness of your website and how just like it is, but the dedication of the people who put that together.
And it's very
Absolutely
instructive.
amazing.
Legislate TLO online, Texas Legislature Online, how to follow a bill using TLO. So it's educational. It's everything that we've been missing for years here. We finally got it all together. And, instead of our chairman and his little minority faction participating and helping further Republican cause and getting more people involved, they fight us. They try to kill all this stuff.
Well, as they should. I mean, because who wants progress? Good progress. Right. So let's do this. Gosh, he's one fugly looking kid. Okay, let's have a commercial break. Give us a second to collect our thoughts because I've got like 9 tabs open right here, right this second, because that's what I'm doing. And also, clearly, I'm playing with the lighter. So
can I
catch on fire.
Can I end it with this? A large part of what people don't realize is they don't know who represents them, and it's very simple. Go to Google, go to DuckDuckGo, go to whatever, and all you've got to type into the search bar is who represents me, and put your zip code in, and it should give you every link to the address and you physically put your address in there, and that tells you who you need to call, because you may live in a Democrat district and you're Republican, or you may be a Democrat in a Republican district, but you still need to talk with your legislators. They don't just get to talk to one party or the other. They need to hear from everybody. And what you'll find is that we might actually have a lot more people that are in line with each other and are tired of the BS, and they're tired of the folks up there in Austin, and they're tired of the parties directing their attention. And it's time that you direct the attention locally from your local elected official that you plug in on the ballot.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we're gonna take a commercial break. I'm gonna see if I can figure this out. Hold on.
Well, hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey y'all.
Whew. Hey
Sandra
guys.
Sandra hit the wrong button.
I did hit the wrong button. Thank goodness Walter was being attentive.
Attentive.
Attentive. I like to make up words on this show. It's my show. I get to do what I want. Kind of like it's my party and I can cry if I want to. If I want to start crying, I will.
Exactly. And here's Johnny.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to make some more videos, Warren, about what's happening here because I get that a lot from other parties across the state calling me, wanting to know what's going on and how we're doing what we're doing. The long and short of it is, and I've met with one of our legislators recently. I said, you guys undermining us with this, y'all just get along stuff has really hurt us for a long time. And I'm all about my principles and I'm going to stick with those, even if it pisses people off. It's just the way it is. I feel like a lot of you guys have waited thinking, well, just if the crocodile eats me last, I'll be okay. Well, the crocodile's coming for all of you right now. So we're up against a group that is very conniving. They're relatively well organized. They're very well funded. And they're not encumbered by anything such as a conscience. So they will say anything and do anything. So we have to stay vigilant. We have to stay on it. The hardest part is keeping the spirits up of our volunteers because they are volunteers. And when you start having all this headache and garbage thrown at them all the time, they just want to throw their hands up and walk away. But thank God we have some true patriots here that have a heart for this fight, and we're going to get through it. I pray for you guys every day. We need to get through this. This needs to be done because we're losing our party to these conniving, politically apathetic, good old boy rhinos. And we can't do that. If we do that, we lose this state, we lose this country, we lose this planet. We just can't do it. So thank you, Warren. I appreciate you so much. And I'll make some more videos. As soon as the attorney tells me, the gag order's off, you guys can go ahead and talk about this again. That's why I haven't made anything recently.
No, Warren. Simon, I'm not comfortable. My knee was hurting, so I had to put it at this cold air in my old fragile bones. It's not okay. Actually, what most of you don't know is I had knee surgery exactly 8 years ago yesterday. And so
large women in comfortable shoes. That's not right, Walter. That's just mean, Walter. Are we still talking about Santos, maybe?
Listen.
You know what? I get very uncomfortable when I'm in shoe shopping and I see a ton of size 12 and 13 women's shoes.
Yep.
True story. So when we were moving, now I want to preface this, okay? I've got work boots. I've got cowboy boots. I've got tennis shoes. I have a lot of shoes I wear on stage that I wouldn't wear anywhere else because people would think I was insane. These two-tone, loud, crazy shoes I wear. And I have dress shoes that I wear for various things. So when I'm moving, my wife says, "You have more shoes than me." I'm like, what an emasculating comment. It's just,
wow.
Yeah. So I lost my man card that day. I'm trying to get it back.
He is.
Does that mean you got rid of shoes?
I did get rid of some of them. Well, I'm the kind of guy. Look, I'll wear. Walter, you're a guy you can relate. I'll buy a pair of shoes and I'll wear them until the sole wears off of them, and then I'll go get them resold if I really like them. So I have pretty much every pair of shoes I've ever had, unless I've worn them out entirely. I don't buy Nikes anymore because I've learned over time the soles just peel off of those damn things. I hate those things.
It's because they're Nike and they're soulless.
It's the souls of little children that peel off of those things.
Yeah. Well, I don't buy it.
Yeah. So I was doing some research real quick. That's what I do on this show. That's really all I'm here for. And there's been for several weeks some talks about Vladimir Putin and him staging a coup to flee. Of course, we know he's been having some health issues. He has been for a little while. Rumors of cancer have been circulating. I think it was stomach cancer, I believe, is what we were hearing. But now they're facing an issue because there's an election coming up in 2024. There, the presidential election.
Yeah,
It's coming
election.
up. Yes, also that in 2024, and they're concerned because the way that their country's laws are, he has the authority because they are in war to cancel the election so that he can stay in power. And as we know, most people in Russia disagree with them even being there. So it's very probable that he would get voted off the island.
And also, the same is true here in America.
Yeah. Well, who are the Democrats going to put up for president next time? I still think Hillary's going to make a run. Everybody thinks I'm crazy, but I really think she is.
No, I think she will too. She's insane.
I
Just
think
like the rest of these people.
I think Gavin Newsom's going to take her wheelchair and he's going to help her up on stage, and then whoop, she's going to have her brakes are going to go out.
You said Gavin Newsom.
Well, she's trying to rewrite history right now. I see she's actually starting to be a little more vocal and criticizing Trump for being dishonest and the documents. I'm going, of all people, Miss Server in your basement, she's just trying to rewrite and like that never happened. Just never happened at all. And
you know what she said? You know what? They may have been servers, but they were not unclassified documents.
That's correct. Wait, unless they were classified emails.
It does. They're digital. It's not the same. Hashtag not the same.
Team Jeffries is going to run War and Peace. You think that's going to be the dude that they put up?
Hey.
Yes.
New York's Cornerstone Baptist best. He gave the best progressive speech we've ever heard in the Congress to date.
I really thought that he was taking an acceptance speech.
Pretty much it was.
So
because they know they own Kevin McCarthy up there.
Well, here's some more thought-provoking fun as well. Speaking of our dear friend Kevin McCarthy, so those of you who know me, if you followed me for a long time politically, you know that I am very quick to be like, hey, if this is what we feel for our side, we must also allow it for their side, right? Whether it's freedom of speech, fill in the blank.
Sure.
Well, now, regardless of why, but Matt Gaetz is now talking about not voting or voting against removing Ilhan Omar from her committees. And he said, look, just because you're doing it because you don't like the mean things that she says, not because of her treasonous actions.
Is it treasonous to marry your brother to become a citizen?
Hey, you know what?
I just want to see what their children look like. Yeah.
So, but and at first I was like, oh, I was appalled, but then I was like, oh, but you know what? I make the same style statements about Henry and Cisneros and all those other psychopaths. Like, if we truly believe in freedom of speech, is that a reason? Now, he's not arguing about Swalwell or what's his face,
right?
The other one, because they have treasonous acts. So I don't know. I think it's some food for thought.
Well, what did Lauren Boebert say about Ilhan Omar? And on that one, does Somalia have banjos?
Oh, I believe Charlotte has some important commentary to add to the show. Would you like to
put a little in my sippy cup?
Charlotte, do you have anything to add to the show today? She's texting Simon, by the way. So you're welcome, Simon. No, she's just here to look cute.
Well, she's not all the way on camera yet, so it
just looks like a weird brunette head just sticking out.
That's right. Hey, Charlotte. Oh, we can't. She can't hear.
Hey, Charlotte, America's watching.
Hey, Charlotte. She said a cop was running to the elevator when they both were in it. And Lauren said, she doesn't have a backpack. We should be fine. Ah!
I did want to mention also, if you're in Montgomery County and you're looking to buy or sell a house, I'd love to help you with that. Interest rates came down today a bit, 6.47% on a 30-year fixed interest rate. You can get that out there right now. There are some options. New construction is still a great option. 15-year fixed refi average is 5.71 right now. So there's some things you can do. So give me a call, 281-907-3989. I would love to help you with that. I am a 5-star realtor with HAR. I do take real good care of my people. I'm meticulous about that. So
Charlotte does in fact have something important to say. Hold on.
Charlotte, you want to buy a house?
Charlotte has her ear in, so she can hear. She can commentate should she choose to. Charlotte, show the people the picture. It's the picture of Bacon holding up the free Pookie sign. Charlotte, will you tell everybody for $5 a day they too can free Pookie? Say $5 a day. Say it. She's like, I'm not your talking.
Tell her say free Pookie.
Can you say free Pookie? That's what Bacon's picture says is free Pookie. Can you say free Pookie?
Simon Garcia reminded me
She's
of,
not even freaking quiet ever.
Simon reminded me of Lauren Boebert when Ilhan Omar was on the elevator and Boebert said, she doesn't have a backpack. We should be fine. I love her. Does that not sound exactly like something I would say?
Oh, no, ma'am.
War and Peace is over here commenting, saying that $5 a day, it was cheaper to feed Sally Struthers. Well, yeah, but she had how many of those little African children were working in her sweatshop? And she was eating all of their food from USAID.
So what's our next move for Texas Fully Loaded? Are we going to go to Austin and raise hell during this legislative session a little bit more? I know it's got to be coming up on time right now that we're not going to be able to get any more legislation written.
Well, so again, they're going to run out the clock on the House side, and remember, it takes both to work together. Dan Patrick came out of the bullpen swinging. He went ahead and put Jonathan Whitmire up on a bull bucking around. So we got one Democrat on that side. I'm trying to wait and see how many that Dade Fellon is going to actually put into the ring. The fun part for a lot of people is Austin, you need to be up there no matter what. And when you're there that day, go over to the gaming devices, or what people think are gaming devices, and look at what bills are being argued, talked about, discussed, whatnot. Register, and then do a for or a nay if you can't be in there in the committee to testify. But see what's going on for the day and testify for what's happening for that day, or go up for a specific committee hearing and wait your turn there. But if you're just going by visiting, jump in on it. It's super simple. And yes, it's, we've got Dade Fellon. He's over there. The Beaumont people hate Texas. They keep Dade in there, and Dade's going to keep the Democrats. He's going to keep Texas bleeding, and it'll be a purple state, continue to be a purple state until they decide they're going to actually pass some legislation that's not a bunch of hocus pocus.
This is literally my new favorite picture, by the way. And here's the deal. We 100% need to be in Austin. That's exactly why I made the statement earlier about being serious about making sure that every single one of our legislators that are Republicans who profess to be Republican have the Republican Party platform the Republican Party priorities framed so that they can't just hide it somewhere. Like if we just hand them a piece of paper, it's easy for it to fall into the trash can. It's easy for them to burn with books, whatever it is that these people do. But I figured if it was framed, it would be a little bit harder for them to do. We can maybe even hang it for them. Walter, just bring your tool belt and you can hang go to the Capitol and hang pictures for them.
It's tool time.
It's tool time with Tim the Toolman Taylor. And then also, I did see that Cindy Williams passed away. That was sad. Now, Simon put up there about the Lytle Music Festival that's coming up, and I did see that, and I was digging a little bit into it. Walter, we might have to enter the barbecue competition.
What do you mean, Mike? Simon, you just heard it here.
We have to have a
She's
pit.
going to sign it up. She's going to sign it up.
We need a pit. That's the only thing that stopped me from signing us up.
We got a pit. What are you talking about?
We do.
Yeah, Cindy Williams did pass away of Laverne and Shirley. I mentioned that earlier on the show. We were kind of cross-talking on that a little bit.
Not cross
75 years old. 75. Yep. So that's not that old. I mean, the more I get closer to that, I realize it's not that old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's interesting how young people look the older you get, isn't it?
Yes, Sandra, it sure is.
That's the youngest person on the show.
Uh-huh.
Significantly youngest person on the show.
Both.
I got to be on Brian Talley's show the other day. It was the 100th episode. I was on his show. That was a lot of fun. We talked about Texas Fully Loaded and activism here. Hour went really fast.
It does.
We got a lot of exciting stuff going here with Texas Fully Loaded. Can y'all believe? I mean, just in the short time that we've been together, all the stuff that's happened with this little group. I'm still not even sure how I met you guys and ended up on this damn show. Every day I ask myself, what did I do wrong?
As you should. You should reflect deep into the pits of your heart and be like, Lord, forgive me. No, you know what? I tell everybody all the time, this is the love child I didn't know that I needed. I love this show. I love having you guys. I love your opinions on stuff. I love watching our comments. I love seeing us grow. I like the whole iron sharpens iron or wit sharpens wit on this show. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's informative. I think that we're changing the face of I think we're changing the face of politics, but more importantly, I think we're changing the way that people expect news to be, because I think people have this presumption that it's supposed to be all one way or the other. And I think that we have a really good rhetoric. In fact, we even get a lot of kudos because we don't always all share the same opinion. And we have good rhetoric when it's back and forth. We respect each other's opinions, even if we don't agree with our opinions. Exactly. That's what I'm screaming. We've been called the next big thing bigger than Joe Rogan by people across the country. And the only way that we can make that happen.
That was only after you attacked the dessert table at that last buffet.
Here, this is I found this went out. I want to show you guys. This is the letter that our chairman sent out to the county, which you'll get a kick out of. This reads like a Mean Girls letter.
It is.
I mean, look at this. This is his press release from the 17th. You know, briefly talks about that. Then it jumps right. Unfortunately, there's a minority group of elected precinct chairs calling themselves the Freedom Caucus. It's 64 of them signed up. It's not a minority. I mean, the work of fiction.
It's not so big.
Down here, it's just humiliated by their abject failure. I mean,
who
led by Jon Bouche and Charles Shirley.
Who writes the checks?
I know exactly. He also says that we went to the Republican Party and tried to get him removed from office. Well, that's not exactly true. We went to the Republican Party and said, enforce your rules. And in the rules, we said it says up to and including removal, if that's what they chose to do. But of course, he pretends like that was a big victory for him. When the chairman of the party and the other member of the mediation team says you're a total failure of leadership, that's not a victory, Brian. That's bad. When every member of the officials committee will tell you privately they think you're an embarrassment and you should resign, that's not a victory, buddy. When you send a resolution up honoring yourself and the whole room breaks out into uproarious laughter and giggles about it, that's not a victory. You're an embarrassment. So when you put in here, this is the part that was really kind of concerning. Here we go. It says, blah, blah, blah. The law caught up, it's talking about the thing that happened in Bandera County about the bank accounts. And then he says, what happens to Boucher, Shirley, and Wirtz in this case is in the hands of law enforcement. However, by their own account, their spending of the Montgomery County Republican Party's donors' hard-earned dollars has dwindled from $53,000 to $31,000. Yeah, we spent $20,000 on the campaign. That's what the money was for. It's all accounted for in the TEC expense report. While you guys did nothing, we were working to get out the vote to get Republicans elected.
Well, now you need to tell the whole entire story. So while your stuff is just grand and dandy, Mr. Jon Bouche and the TEC report, finance report, whose is not?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So the Republican Voters of Texas, which is our chairman's wife's organization she started but removed her name from, she still runs it, pretends like it's not hers. Which, think about that, Walter. If you're not doing something dishonest, why are you pretending like you're not doing it? So she runs this deal.
I didn't form that, although she's on all the original documents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't worry
And she'll
about
even
that.
say, well, I just helped them with the paperwork. And said,
People do not read.
You coordinate all their efforts. You write their schedules. You do everything. Stop pretending, okay? And they endorse all of your candidates from your Southern Heritage organization. So please stop pretending. But anyway, so they turned in their TEC report once, and then the next time they turned it in, there was $11,000 missing. They claim it was from filing it from a state PAC to a federal PAC, but you still need to account for the money. So TEC report was filed, a complaint was filed. There was some disposition. I don't know what it is because it's confidential. We've put FOIA requests in for it. We'll see what happens. But all of a sudden, their website's gone. Go figure. They have no more website. So something happened. So
Probably because
now we wait. Now we
took it
wait
from
to
the
see what they
website.
show up as this time. We know they started the Republican Club, and Brian Crist put himself on as the treasurer of that. I'm told he's since removed himself as treasurer and put one of the other precinct chairs on, same like his wife does. As soon as the heat starts catching up, they'll shove somebody else out in the battlefield, and they go, that wasn't me. But if it's successful, then they go, yeah, see, I did that. Smart. Look, these people are garbage. You heard me say it. I know it's not polite to talk about other Republicans, but I'm not. That's why I call them Clinton Republicans, because about as Republican as Bill Clinton is.
If you boil an egg too long, it explodes.
She's leaving her husband for not winning the school board. Shut up. Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah. All right. So we have exactly 2 more minutes left, guys. Give us your Jerry's final thoughts. Jon?
Well, just waiting on the attorney to say you guys can talk about this, and I'm going to be meeting with Republican women in this county and everybody else that I can meet with about this to let them know what's happening, because they need to know, because otherwise they're just spreading a bunch of dirty, false information out there. It's what they do.
Yeah.
Well,
oh no, just eggs. All you've got to do is remember, Eduardo, give me a call. Y'all have my number. Y'all have my email.
Jesus,
We can get you the eggs that are. We have a secret pipeline. Pretty soon, Houston's going to also be the egg trafficking capital of the world as well, on top of the sex capital of the world. So, bottom line, if you're going to get to Austin. Know your reps, get involved, because it's not getting any better, folks.
wow, that was a lot. So a huge thank you to our amazing sponsors, the Montgomery County Tea Party. Don't forget the 1st and 3rd Mondays of the month at Citizens Grill, 6 p.m. Skyland Companies, Justin and the team, we appreciate you, whether it's diesel mechanics or logistics or anything in between. You definitely want a Patriot fighter like Justin on your side, so make sure you give him a call. If you can't find his information on Facebook, then please let us know and we'll get you in touch with him. And then also TECN.TV. Ken, thank you for hosting this amazing network. Thank you for allowing us to be tenants on your amazing network. Charlotte's already saying goodbye, so you know what's next. Don't forget to go to TexasFullyLoaded.com. Please click on that hashtag We the People Work and support our program. We need your support to keep us on the air and to keep the wheels turning of fighting for you and that hashtag We the People Work. Charlotte said get to work. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.